In his most famous sermon, Jesus turned the world's values upside down. He began with blessings, beatitudes offering comfort, honor, and heavenly reward to the meek, the mourning, the peacemakers, and the persecuted. He called his followers to be salt and light in a tasteless and dark world, preserving what is good and shining with truth. He didn't abolish the law but fulfilled it, raising the bar. It's not enough not to murder, don't hate. It's not enough not to commit adultery, don't lust. He warned against anger, hypocrisy, and vengeance, and taught us to love even our enemies. He gave us the Lord's Prayer, emphasizing humble, private prayer and complete trust in the Father's provision. Jesus told us not to worry about tomorrow, to seek God's kingdom first, and not to judge others harshly. The sermon ends with a call to action. Hear his words and do them, or be like a house built on sand. Jesus often used parables to teach spiritual truths, especially about mercy and grace. In the parable of the prodigal son, he reveals God's heart for the lost. A rebellious son squanders everything but is welcomed back by his father with joy, showing that repentance is always met with forgiveness. In the parable of the lost sheep, he tells how a shepherd leaves the 99 to rescue the one, illustrating that no one is insignificant to God. The parable of the unforgiving servant teaches that having been forgiven an unpayable debt by God, we must also forgive others. These stories remind us that God's mercy is wide, scandalous by human standards, and always ready to receive the repentant. Jesus never sugarcoated the cost of discipleship. He said, "If anyone wants to follow me, let him deny himself, take up his cross daily, and follow me." To follow him is to surrender our will, our comfort, even our relationships. If they stand in the way of our devotion to him, he warned that the road would be narrow and hard, but it leads to life. He told would-be disciples to count the cost like a builder assessing expenses, or a king preparing for battle. Jesus sought not casual admirers but committed followers willing to live counterculturally, to suffer, to serve, and to love radically. But he also promised that whoever loses their life for his sake will find it, and that the burden he gives is light compared to the freedom and joy it brings. Jesus modeled and taught an intimate relationship with God through prayer. He often withdrew to pray, sometimes all night, emphasizing communion with the Father above all else. In teaching us how to pray, he gave the Lord's Prayer a simple yet profound outline that begins with honoring God, seeking his kingdom, asking for daily provision, forgiveness, and deliverance from evil. Jesus warned against empty, showy prayers and encouraged persistence in faith, saying, "The Father knows what we need even before we ask." He illustrated God's heart in the parable of the persistent widow and the friend at midnight, teaching us not to give up in prayer. Above all, he assured us that God is a good father who delights in giving good gifts to his children. Jesus did not merely speak of love. He demonstrated it, redefined it, and commanded it. He said, "A new command I give you, love one another. As I have loved you, so you must love one another." His love was sacrificial, practical, and indiscriminate. He healed lepers, touched the outcast, forgave adulterers, and dined with tax collectors. Love, he taught, is the distinguishing mark of his followers, not sentimental emotion, but selfless action, even for enemies. In the parable of the Good Samaritan, he showed that love transcends ethnicity, religion, and prejudice. The true neighbor is the one who has mercy, even on strangers. Jesus made it clear that love is the fulfillment of God's law and the very heart of God's nature. "Greater love has no one than this," he said, "than to lay down one's life for one's friends." In his death, he showed that love holds nothing back, not even life itself. Jesus described himself as the good shepherd who lays down his life for the sheep. He contrasted himself with hired hands who run away when danger comes. Unlike them, Jesus stays, protects, and gives everything for those he loves. He said his sheep know his voice and follow him, and that he knows them intimately just as the Father knows him. This image emphasizes his care, guidance, and sacrifice. The shepherd doesn't exploit the flock, but leads them to green pastures and living water. He leaves the 99 to rescue one who strays, showing that every person is precious. This teaching offers comfort. We are not alone, not forgotten, not nameless. Jesus, our shepherd, walks with us through valleys of shadow, defends us from evil, and brings us safely home.